know it.
With a tears in my eyes.
The cream of the crop. Acknowledge me.
Episode 403 of Top Rope Nation, alongside Justin Joint. I am the assistant to the executive producer, Jesse Velasquez. I just wanted to pop the boss. Justin, how are we on this cold Sunday morning?
Yeah, I'm flying pretty high because of the big Tottenham win yesterday. I mean, big. It was a game they should have won regardless, but it was kind of the coming out party for Xavi Simons, who's been struggling. But other than that, as soon as we're done here, I get to look forward to going outside and snowblowing. So this might be the highlight of my day.
Okay, so you are not a fan of snowblowing.
I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just honestly, it's just the prep, getting all the snow gear on and getting the snowblower going. And
yeah, that's the one thing I miss about home ownership is this is the perfect time for me if I have to shovel, throw on my earbuds, podcast, get lost in the world.
True.
That's the way I would feel if I was a homeowner and had a snowblower too.
Although not quite as nice with the snowblower just because it's so loud. I have a battery lawnmower, so that's perfect for podcast listening. But I don't know. I might just do the silent snowblowing today.
Okay, the sound of silence. So, how old is Xavi Simons?
Ooh, man. I want to say 25. Now I got to look it up because I don't know for sure.
So he is not in his prime yet. It's probably got a couple years left before that happens.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I am unfamiliar with the football world, so I actually will ask you a question you'll probably know the answer to. Where do they sit in the table right now?
Honestly, I haven't looked. I don't pay much attention until it gets later in the season. And frankly, with how poorly they've been playing, I haven't wanted to look. Xavi is 22. I was way off.
Woo!
Yeah.
He's got some years left. Okay. So there's still hope for, well, I mean, there's a lot of hope for Xavi Simons. And then with my football team, there's a little bit of hope for JJ.
They play today?
They play at home against the Washington Commanders, who are as bad as they are record-wise. However, Washington gets Jaden Daniels back.
Oh, ouch. Bad timing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vikings will likely finish either 5-12 or 6-11. That's what I'm predicting the rest of the way. It's just their schedule's tough.
And you're still a JJ believer, huh?
I don't know where I sit. It's really too hard to tell. I feel with NFL rookie quarterbacks, especially, it's really hard to judge them based off of 6-7 starts. They need like 20, 25.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's too early to give up on them.
The big one today, and by the way, Ryan Drosty is not here. He's going to be tied down. Happy birthday, Eden. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Double digits. That's a big deal. I know. It's like, where did the time go? The other big thing for him, 325. Bears, Packers. Winner is the NFC North leader. It's going to be a very good game.
Is that at Green Bay?
I believe that it is. And I would assume most of the country outside of the state of Wisconsin is rooting for the Bears.
Yep. Go Bears.
Yes. So that has been your sports talk and snow talk for the morning. Bye, Sam. We'll see you later. Where are we at? Let's go to the graphics first and foremost. No, we are not. We are going captions. Why? Because this is how we start every wrestling show of ours, 403 deep. Our patrons, thank you so much for your support. Classics has been delayed a little bit. It's the time of year with birthdays and holidays. Clash of the Champions 17, where Justin Joint will get his shining moment when it comes to a Classics episode. I have gotten through the first two matches, but I have also watched the main event and the main event angle. So I'm pumped for this one, Justin.
Cornerstone show for me in my wrestling fandom.
It's about 3 or 4 accounts, I think 2 weeks ago, like right around the time that it happened, that had posted stuff about it and said, this is unbelievable stuff. So if they're saying positive things about it, then this is going to be, this might be an all-timer. We'll see.
I agree.
So thank you to our lovely folks. We're a handful of patrons away from getting Meet the Nation going. We would like that to happen. Please. All three of us, well, then we have to teach Justin how to work the board here.
that might break the show, if anything.
Trial and error. I can definitely tell you from the first handful of podcasts I did, I cringe. I can't listen, much like you can't listen to yourself. I can't go back and listen to my first 5 or 6 shows. It's so hard. Mistakes. But you live and you learn. Okay, we're going to get the housekeeping item out of the way. That's pretty big news, and that's Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers and what that's going to mean for the future of the professional wrestling business. And I think much like everything, when you see it in the news, it's really hard to tell. I think once the plan is executed, according to Ryan, I'm going to use some of his notes here because this is probably his baby. I think when it comes to knowledge upon this. He just feels that short-term feeling that Netflix would have been much better for them than selling to Paramount. I don't know where that would have gone. Paramount, I know, is actually, funny enough, UFC's last pay-per-view was last night. They moved to Paramount January 2026. So keeping that in the TKO family would have been, I don't know, I mean, still are with Netflix, Paramount, etc. But here's the big caveat, is that Netflix isn't interested in the network side, which means that TNT, TBS will continue to hold their contracts with AEW. So the only thing that might matter, and it's going to take probably a lot of legal stuff, is what's going to happen with HBO Max. Justin, do you have anything on this topic?
This is totally a wait and see situation. I mean, it's not even close to being finalized. Another buyer could still jump in at any time. I mean, just because it was announced doesn't mean it's official by any means. I was glad to see that, the network thing is going to be separate because there was a lot of doom and gloomers when it comes to AEW, but I just don't even believe, Netflix isn't going to purchase something and then throw away a moneymaker just because of their relationship with WWE. So, yeah, this could be years before we see anything happen with this. So I'm not too concerned with it.
No, I don't think either one of us are. To be honest, the thing I am concerned with is the end of this year when Peacock gets rid of all of the WWE library.
Yeah, that's the thing. Outside of wrestling and AEW, I think this really sucks. Like, just, the monopolization of all of this crap is just, that part is depressing. But I'm not too worried about the AEW part of it.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5 of the largest, probably the richest folks in the world just continuing to buy everything and keep it under that corporate umbrella. It's terrible. Yep. Capitalism right now is running rampant, and it is not good for the United States of America. So I think we have touched pretty much on all we need to. Just when it comes to that, it's the wait and see approach.
Yep.
We are going to get the WWE stuff out of the way now before we move to the Continental Classic. Cannot wait to talk about that. John Cena next Saturday night, on Saturday night's main event, will be wrestling Gunther, who won the Time Is Now tournament. If you scroll through Cage Match, all 4 of his matches were ranked between high 7s and mid 8s. He put on some pretty solid performances. The only one that I watched from start to finish was LA Knight. That might have been LA Knight's best match. I wonder why. Most people are saying that Solo Sikoa's best match took place the week prior against Gunther. So I guess the only thing that might not make sense here, and this is where I want your opinion, should a younger guy have stepped into this position to win this tournament, or do you feel that Gunther is the right choice for this?
Gunther is, by miles, my favorite wrestler in WWE. So I'm totally at peace with it. The question is going with the younger guys, like who? I guess you could have gone Braun Breaker, would have made sense, but they just didn't go that route. And honestly, it just doesn't matter who they were going to put in there. Like, they thought they gave Theory the rub when they had him beat John Cena. So it's all so silly. My only question is like, how is this match going to be laid out? Is it going to be like a super squash like the SummerSlam match against Brock? I don't really foresee that. I'd assume it's going to be some long, quote unquote, epic to kind of send Cena out, on a high. But yeah, I would think, is there any chance Cena beats Gunther?
5%.
Ooh, I think that even might be high.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Does he really need it? I don't know. I mean, we look back into history. Like, did Brock Lesnar really need to defeat the Undertaker at WrestleMania? Probably
That
not.
one, my opinions on Brock Lesnar aside,
Yeah.
that one worked out. In the moment, I hated it. I would have preferred a younger person, but I also didn't realize that Lesnar would still be working for the company all these years later. I assumed like all of his previous runs, he would be in and out, and it would have been a very, very short-term gain storyline wise. But that one is aged, outside of the match being absolute crap, that one is aged okay with me.
Yeah. I mean, he was just coming back from UFC, I think a year and a half prior, and yeah, big time. Shawn Michaels getting retired by The Undertaker was back in 2010. You could have maybe given that to a young guy, but what good would that have done?
Yeah.
Here's the one that is hilarious to me is Baron Corbin retiring Kurt Angle. That guy's no longer in the promotion.
Yeah. That should have been Drew McIntyre.
Back in, was he? He was in the company.
Yeah, because it was Roman and Drew at that WrestleMania where Baron beat Kurt Angle. I thought they just got that all screwed up or mixed up, I should say. They should just swap those guys, fed Baron to Roman and let Drew beat Angle, but alas.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Gunther's already cemented as like one of the tippy top guys in the promotion anyway. The sad thing is, I wouldn't say a lot of that audience rejects Gunther and his style. I just don't know if they really understand it. To me, it's more of the throwback heel from the 80s and the 90s. But here's the thing: the guy can really wrestle too.
Yep. And it's all going to be a matter of what they do with them, what their plans are for him. I mean, they've got to have a major WrestleMania match planned for him. What that is anyone's guess at the moment.
My thoughts exactly, Tim Jensen. Walter really needs the rub, and nobody has heard of the guy. The rest of Saturday night's main event card is so far as interesting. They're mixing NXT talent in. I'm pessimistic about it, and I'm optimistic about it. I lean probably a little more on the pessimistic side because I think when you let it play out in the WWE 9 times out of 10, it doesn't play out. You have Bayley wrestling Sol Ruca, who I think is probably either third or fourth most ready in the WWE down in NXT. She's an excellent performer. And then on the other avenue, this is a match that I watched last night. I watched Oba Femi regain the NXT championship from Sir Ricky Starks. It's a very good match. I think if I were to throw a rating on it, something between 3.25, 3.5. It was solid. Limb work. Ricky looked good. Oba looked great. We're getting Cody Rhodes and Oba Femi on Saturday night's main event. Now, the question before, actually, yes, hypothetically, Cena's supposed to open this card. Are people just going to turn it off after it's over? Or are they going to care about these NXT people? Justin, do you have any thoughts?
I don't really care. My curiosity for that show outside of Cena and Gunther is there any chance that Oba Femi beats Cody Rhodes? And I think the only chance of that happening is if it's a non-title match. I don't know if they've announced that or not.
Not to my knowledge. I'm not 100% sure there.
Maybe I should
look
that up. But I definitely won't be watching. I got a family event. But if I find out Obi beats Rhodes, I will be watching that.
Yeah. I think they should go non-title. I think he should win it. You have a 26, 27-year-old guy who is main roster ready that can come up at any given time. and be a force. He's basically one of your next Batistas, your Brocks, your Ortons, etc. Finally, kind of get this generation in motion, something that they haven't done since the Shield in 2012. Maybe Owens and Zayn in 15. That's really about it.
Yeah, on Wikipedia, it's just looks like it's just champion versus champion. So probably not going to be for the world title. So I don't know. I would be stunned if they had Oba win, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what that looks like. I believe I only have one other thing WWE wise, and that is I don't know if you've seen this, but Braun Breaker cut like a 2.5-minute promo on Raw that was very good. It, of course, overreaction wise, people call it promo of the year material. No, not even close. He's wrestling CM Punk in the first Netflix of 2026 for the World Heavyweight Championship. There are rumors going around that either he or Roman Reigns are the favorites to win the Royal Rumble early next year. Wouldn't you not? Is this the opportunity to crown Braun Breaker, get it over with right now, and have him destroy Punk or even win the match? What do you think?
Timing wise, it seems weird, but I also would think it's not great if you have him lose in this big match. But it feels like Punk just got that title, and to take it off of him already, and not saving the crowning moment for Braun for just even a bigger spotlight, like a Royal Rumble win or a big PLE is I don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
Braun should be champion sooner rather than later. I don't necessarily know if you want to throw him in this situation though, because this seems like something that you could save for WrestleMania.
Ooh, what about Braun versus Gunther at WrestleMania? World title match.
I would be all in on that. Braun is one of the few people that has defeated Gunther in a match.
Ooh.
Yeah, I believe him and Ilya Dragunov are the only two performers back down in NXT that have defeated Walter.
Okay.
So
there we go.
Yeah, you could play some history there.
Yeah.
A solid promo. I would like to see Braun just to see if he can run with the ball and give WWE something fresh. So time will remain there. This has just been a crazy week, I think, in general for wrestling, not just WWE, but we have New Japan ramping up for Wrestle Kingdom here next month. I'm going to throw this in here real fast because there's a handful of people that really want to hear this. We're looking at a double main event situation with Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement match against Kazuchika Okada, and then Konosuke Takeshita taking on Yota Tsuji for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Number one, who should main event this? And number two, are you excited to watch these at your time? So at your leisure?
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited for Wrestle Kingdom this year. Probably the most excited I've been for Wrestle Kingdom in years at this point. As far as which one should main event, I'm kind of old school in the fact that I kind of think a world championship should be in the main event without question. But there's also no question what the bigger match is, and that's going to be Tanahashi and Okada. So it's a win-win. I don't think it would hurt the world championship match if it were to go before Okada and Tanahashi, but I think I would stick with the world title match going on last. I think it'll be the better match just because of where Tanahashi is at. But I wouldn't blame them if they wanted to send Tanahashi out in the main event. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's a big one. I know Tanahashi's going to give it everything that he physically can. I believe he's 47 years old and his knees are just busted. He's walking around worse than my uncles right now, and they're in their 70s. It's crazy. Did you remember watching that at All Out? I remember him trying to climb the top rope for the high fly flow, and it took him like a year to get up there.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, he's still, just because of how his experience and being one of the greatest aces of all times. He can still pull off, something pretty close to a 3-star match. But yeah, he's far from what he used to be.
And this one's pivotal for the future of New Japan in the early stages. Would you crown Yota Tsuji right now as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion?
I would not. I think there's more upside with Takeshita, so I would keep going with him.
We're going to talk about Konosuke Takeshita here in a moment because that guy has had a wonderful 2025, and we need to just kind of glorify it just a little bit more. I think the fact that he's doing so much work in 2 separate promotions is it's just impressive stuff. He's able to go.
And I should say I'm not very plugged in to New Japan, so I don't know what kind of support is behind Yota at the moment. Like if there is a big crowd swell for him to be the top guy, I don't know that. So obviously if there is a clamoring of the fans that want to see him on top, pull the trigger, do it now. He's not exactly a spring chicken. So, but I also like the feeling I get is that he's not really there yet. And that's just, to me, it's more interesting to keep the championship on Takeshita.
Yeah. Tsuji is the one of the Young Lions, that somewhat heralded group, which is the Uemura Umino group in Ren Narita. He's the one that's emerged so far. He seems like he's gotten the most crowd support. But like you have said, it just doesn't. He's not at that Okada level in 2012. Yeah. That Tanahashi Nakamura level back in 2004 or 5, when I think people were clamoring in Japan for them to do it. And Takeshita is still, I think, in his early 30s. Like, you're doing just fine. We'll probably let's tie this in now. Would you like to see Takeshita over in New Japan more and AEW less if he does retain this?
I like watching Takeshita wrestle, so I'm fine with him continuing to appear in AEW. Obviously, it lowers the drama because he can't be taking losses. But I like that he works both.
Yeah, it's impressive that one person can go ahead and do that. We're seeing that more these days. Well, actually, before we tie into that, we're going to pivot. I'm going to hit AEW, and we'll talk about kind of the back and forth with promotions and champions. But I did want to get this in because we have really been promoting this a lot recently. As you know, with classics and the patronage, $5 a month to support us, you get over 200 hours of content. I'm 3 more episodes away from recording my 200th episode of TRN Unplugged. I have to get on that and figure out how big of a presentation I want to make it, who I'd like to have on the show. May even take some callers. Again, I think we're on 74, 75 classics. Ryan puts his star ratings. He puts his Bleacher Report after pay-per-view shows behind this paywall. He does extras in the summer. I mean, that guy wears a million hats. That's why I am the assistant to the executive producer in this role. So he does so many things that I don't know how in the world he's able to put everything together. But in the right-hand corner of your video screen, topropenation.com/Discord. There, I think we're up to 50-something people in there. But the great thing is, I would say 80% of those folks are active, talking about everything from pro wrestling. I've seen music chats in there, books. Do you have a favorite kind of sidebar in there, like a music? Like what's been your fancy right now so far?
I'd say outside of wrestling, I've been most active in the music one, but I've been kind of locked into Stranger Things with the wife. So once I get past that, I love movies is my favorite thing. So I hope to get that chat really going.
That's awesome. How many more episodes left of Stranger Things?
4, I believe. 3 will get released on Christmas, and then 1 on New Year's.
Okay. That's how they keep you hooked.
Yep. New season's decent. Pretty good so far.
Okay. This is the 5th or the 4th and final?
5th and final.
Okay. Ooh. All right. You're definitely a TV series buff, and I can easily talk about it. So before we get to AEW, my question for you is, I think back to like Breaking Bad and a lot of those shows. Where would you cut seasons off for epic television shows? Would you cut it off at 4 seasons, 5 seasons? What do you think is your sweet spot? What's the sweet spot?
I mean, it all depends on the show. If the writers know where they're going, take it as long as you can. God, there's been so many shows that I loved that just fell off a cliff because they dragged it out too long. Lost being probably the chief among them. I didn't hate the final season of Game of Thrones as much as other people, but it was definitely disappointing, especially the last couple episodes were just horrendous. But I can't give you a strong answer just because it depends on the show,
I think 5 is the peak. Like that's where you should cut most instances. I would be hard pressed. I'd have to think about it. People can totally take me to task on this. If they can find me a television series that has been phenomenal from like season 6 moving forward. I'll use my example with Dexter. I loved the first 4 seasons. The 4th season was like one of the best seasons I've ever seen of television. And then they changed producers and it fell off of a cliff. So they had one good season from 5 to 8. That's really all.
And unfortunately, I don't know off the top of my head how many seasons Breaking Bad went or Mad Men, but those 2 shows were strong throughout. I don't think The Wire was just 4 seasons, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if the writer knows what the arc of the show is, then that'll determine the success of, going past 5 seasons.
It's really hard to write compelling television, I think, for more than 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's better now that, back in our day where every show had to be 24 episodes a season, where they don't have to do that anymore. So that helps a lot where you can kind of just determine the number of episodes as a season has.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the last thing for me on the TV front, I felt that The Office, which is something that I've watched cover to cover twice, I think season 5, maybe 6 would have been good. Michael left midway through season 7 and it dropped off. It's just really hard to do. So that was your television talk in the middle. I just wanted to get that out of the way for some reason. So topropenation.com/Discord. If you want to talk anything pro wrestling, we talk about the promotions outside of the large ones, Japan and then indies. We throw a bunch of different things in there. Okay.
Hey, actually, speaking of which, this might be a good segue. I know you watched it. I have not watched it. Ring of Honor, Final Battle. I've heard good things.
I have watched, how many matches did I watch? 3. I watched 3 of them. I saw Mercedes Red Velvet. Very good.
Okay.
Highly recommend that. She lost, folks. Ultimo Monet is now down to 12 titles, and watching her promo last night on Collision, where you can tell she's starting to fall apart, was good stuff. Good character work. I'm really enjoying this Mercedes diatribe and what she's going to do if she keeps losing these titles.
I mean, that's a lot of losses for one of your top stars to take. So I would be shocked if the story for the coming months is her losing each and every single one. But I'm with you. I like the story. I think it was very much needed for her character, and I'm intrigued where the end game is.
Very much so. The purest of graps, by the way. This is a match that I recommend you going out of your way, Justin, to see is Lee Moriarty and Nigel McGuinness.
I think that's the one. That's the one I've been hearing the buzz about.
Yeah, sweet spot stuff there. Yeah, even like the way that it ended shocked me. I mean, just a well put together match. And then the other one that I watched was the 6-man challenge at the top, where I believe Bandito retained, pinning Hechicero.
Yep.
Bandito continuing to put on performance after performance after performance, just cementing himself at the top of the wrestling world, I think, in terms of his in-ring work.
All right, keep vamping on Final Battle. I need 10 seconds.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I would highly recommend going out of your way to watch it. Athena retained against Persephone. This is a question I'm going to totally ask Justin when he comes back, is it's been almost a 3.5. This is almost Roman Reigns territory when it comes to Athena and just how long that this title reign is going, which has me a little bit concerned. Oh, there we go. Okay, which has me a little bit concerned that it's how much she's going to continue to appear on AEW television. Are they going to halt this still because she's a Ring of Honor champion? Should she lose? I felt like she should have lost this title months ago and thrown her into this AEW equation. Give me your thoughts on Athena.
Okay, interesting, because I've heard that a lot. It's like that she probably should have had the title taken off of her a while ago, but it seems like, where? Because to me, it just feels like hindsight, the right decision was made every single time, that she should have won. And, unless she's going to go right into the main event scene in AEW, I'd prefer for her to just keep dominating in Ring of Honor. Wait till the right moment. She had that little run in the spring with the Owen, but I would just keep her going down there until you're ready for her to main event. And I think, the main event scene in AEW is kind of solidified for the women right now, with Stat being on top. You have Mercedes there. Although, with the tag division, that does take some of your top stars like Tony out of the equation. So, yeah, until Ring of Honor has the right woman to take it off of her, I wouldn't do it just to get her into AEW. Take the title off of her, that is.
It might not happen until the end of next year. And I know that Billy Starks is still pretty young. I almost foresee her being that person because it's going to be hard to get her on AEW television with all those names that you mentioned too. So why not let her run with the ball for 9 to 12 months in Ring of Honor, get some more seasoning under her, and then maybe see what she can do on that AEW roster in 2027. Because I don't have an answer for you who should take this title off of Athena.
Just not a great option right now. Not a lot of great options.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tell. LFI, which was, I think, Sammy Guevara and Beast Mortos are the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. So good to see
Sammy, the first 3 consecutive time Tag Team Champion.
Jeez. He held it with Dustin, that's right.
And then it was vacated. Then he held it with, was it Roosh?
Roosh.
And then it was vacated. And now here he is with Beef.
Sammy's better off in Ring of Honor right now.
Yes, absolutely. I A-okay not seeing him on my AEW television. I think he fits perfectly with Ring of Honor.
And he's still a very good in-ring performer, but he just gets lost in the seas up on the big show, if you will. So
nobody's clamoring for him to be a top guy in AEW as much as they want to try and. They really tried to force him into that pillar role, and that is just not him. So, let him be a bigger fish in a smaller pond in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, pull him up from time to time on AEW television and just let him have a hell of a match. And if he connects with the crowd at that time, then maybe you can reassess the situation. We're going to have a little bit of 4-pillar talk. I think we'll tie it into this next and most important segment, I think, of the week. We're going to talk about AEW and the last, what were we looking at? Week and a half of television and the Continental Classic. First things first, I got to fire this off. Here are my thoughts so far on the AEW Continental Classic.
I think we're going to get a lot of run out of that clip.
Oh, Tony Romo, I love you. That's just, and the best thing about that was I slowed it down to 0.75 speed.
I was wondering, that one felt longer than other ones.
Yeah, I had to. 0.5 was just a little bit too slow because I don't know where that one would have gone. But yeah, every single match so far in the Continental Classic has been unreal. I'd say if you were to take into account stars, probably the lowest rated match would probably be around 3.25.
Agreed.
I think your highest would be 4.25.
Yeah, I think that's
maybe
right.
a 4.5. Justin, give me your favorite match so far of the C2 from what you've seen.
Boy, that's a tough question.
It is.
The first one that springs to mind, and this is probably just recency bias, is Fletcher and Knight, just because that felt like that really kind of made Knight in a new way. Not like that. I think he's a top guy now, but boy, he is just popping off the screen. Like, it's so hard in today's wrestling for athleticism to really make somebody, because there's so many like uber athletic high flyers, but holy shit, does he really pop off the screen. That's big. I loved Takeshita and Mox from last night. Mox and Claudio was freaking amazing. Man, I don't know. It's just like you've already kind of alluded to. It's just been banger after banger so far. This is my favorite time of the year. I freaking love the C2. It's absolutely incredible.
It's the best. There's no outside interference. All matches are 20 minutes or less.
Yep.
And you can tell that the performers slow things down for spots in the match, especially in the first 3, 4, 5 minutes. They'll start working limbs and doing things like that. Or in the case of like a Darby Allin and a Kevin Knight, for example, those guys just speed it up because that's what they're accustomed to, but it suits them well.
And I think Tony is really starting to figure out how to lay these out, because, a lot of the complaints with the C2 have been, it's obvious who the guys are that's going to be taking the L's, but this year it's like with some of the upsets and shockers we've seen, in where I think they're going storyline wise, is I like the way he's utilizing those guys, like a mixture of up and comers like Knight and Speedball mixed in with like veteran savvy of Strong, who's like the perfect C2 guy, where he can eat the L's. It doesn't really hurt him. He's, an established guy, as far as the a mid-carder goes, but he's going to have fantastic matches with everybody. And so that just works for me. And boy, I mean, Dorado freaking beating Claudio shocked the hell out of me, but makes total sense. I mean, yeah, there's just a whole lot to like with the layout of this thing. And did you see who's replacing Darby?
I was going to talk about that right now, because we mentioned Sammy Guevara and the 4 Pillars.
That's where you were going with that. Very nice.
Darby's injured and pissed off about it.
Yep.
He's replaced by Jack Perry. Yeah. The
shocked.
Was great.
But again, perfect. For one, because he's taken over for Darby and Kevin Knight beat Darby, he's coming in kind of behind already. So if, obviously he's not going to win this thing, but all he needs to do is just have some freaking amazing matches. And boy, I'm excited for some of those, like Jack has really been floundering for quite a while. And I think this is exactly the sort of thing that could get him going.
He can find himself in this. So he would be, so it's Okada, Fletcher, Kevin Knight.
Well, he won't
no,
fight.
Sorry, he wrestled Kevin Knight already. Darby did.
Yeah. But yeah, Pac and Speedball.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I didn't ask. I'm sorry. This is rude of me. What's your match of the C2 so far?
Happened last night. Mox and Takeshita.
Yeah. Good call.
They beat the shit out of each other. Limb work, and the story being told right now with Moxley just really losing his confidence after losing to Claudio on Wednesday night, which you mentioned already. I thought that was a very good performance, but Takeshita is just a big-time guy, which is why we talked about it with the quick New Japan segment. He's so good that he can fit either promotion. Like, do you want him to keep going back and forth like this? Because we think that with the story that's being told, it's going to come down to Okada and Takeshita. It could come down to Takeshita Fletcher, maybe. I'd rank that like 15, 20%, but I think just those two hosses meeting up and who wins from there is a huge question.
Do you think Takeshita runs the table in his league? Or will somebody beat him?
That would be I think somebody. No, I think he runs it.
Because if somebody's going to beat him, I don't think it'll be Orange, but I could maybe see Claudio or even like another upset win for Dorada.
which that's a story you can tell with Claudio. This is the second year in a row that he's lost to a masked wrestler. He lost to Commander last year in the C2 when it looked pretty much foregone that Claudio was going to advance into the semifinals, and Commander stole it. So, which Commander replacing Juice Robinson last year. But unfortunately, he was just used to eat pins. Where with Jack Perry, I don't know if he's going to be used in this scenario to eat some pins. He's gonna win a couple.
I agree. I want to stick in the blue league here for a minute. What do you think is going to happen with the rest of Mox's? Being that he has 2 losses already. I mean, to big names, but he only has 2 matches left with Strong and Orange, and I think he's going to lose to Orange. I think Orange has got to get his revenge for Full Gear last year.
That's a 50-50 toss-up. I almost think that it wouldn't hurt for him to get a draw in there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know, because obviously everybody thinks the story is kind of him losing his grip as the leader of the Death Riders. So I think if I was going to do that, if I was going to run with that story, I'd probably have him beat Strong, and then going into the last match of his C2 against Orange, that's where I'd have him lose, and that's where he would really lose the confidence of the rest of the Death Riders.
You have to think in your head of heads that the turn is coming at World's End when they dump Moxley. Does that seem like the appropriate place?
And then, have you heard Kingston's promos?
Yes.
He sounds a lot like, and this isn't my original thought, I've seen other people point this out, sounds a lot like Mox a year ago with, he's wanting the younger AEW guys to get to the top the right way, whereas Mox was about he wanted somebody to step up, so I foresee maybe a Mox and Kingston combo for 2026.
Yes, please. Yeah, both of those guys are in their 40s. They don't necessarily need to have ginormous singles runs, especially Jon Moxley right now. Kingston's just getting back from injury. I actually want to get back to that a little bit later. Among other highlights from this C2 so far, for me, this is a costume one, seeing Pac in his 1982 Dynamite Kid gear.
Love it.
Oh, man. There's just so many really good wrestlers in that promotion that I've said it before, there's times he gets lost in that shuffle. He's a name that could win like that side of this of the bracket, but that he can't because Okada's there. Yeah. Fletcher's probably there. Pac Fletcher is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most, I think, the rest of the way.
Yes. I'm taking a look here, make sure I'm not forgetting anything, but I think I agree with you that is going to be the one.
There's so many really good ones left to go. Fletcher owns Okada right now. That's another story for the second year in a row. Fletcher defeated him.
Yep.
So you can tie that into when they split off.
Yeah, I mean, I think Speedball Knight, that's not really an important one because obviously those two don't have any hopes of winning this thing, but maybe for their potential breakup down the road and just for in-ring quality, I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's put you on the spot right now. I don't know where I'd go with this. Kevin Knight in 2026, where would you like to see him go?
I think the best case scenario for him in 2026, and I think it's a year early, I would actually put this at 2027, is him getting that up-and-comer world title shot at All Out. Like Hangman got, MJF got, Jack Perry isn't there, but he kind of had that shot. It was Kyle Fletcher this year. It's kind of that spot where they're 2 years premature for actually being a world champion, but I would not be surprised. I think it'll be 2027 All Out, Kevin Knight versus whoever is the champion at that time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good prediction. I didn't even tie that together with all of the guys that are like a year or two away from being a main event talent getting thrown into the world title scenario.
It hasn't been every year. Tony hasn't done that every year, but it has been utilized quite a bit.
He's done it. Christian Cage in 2021, he didn't do it, and there was no world title match in 23. We were there.
Yep, and then what the other one was
Punk.
Punk, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, gosh, yeah, that's really cool. I would almost say he should do that more, but then that, in a sense, that kind of waters down the whole
Yeah,
thing.
you don't want to make that the gimmick of All Out, but I do like it when it's utilized sporadically. But in the chat, yeah, I like that. Give him a TNT or maybe ooh AEW National Champion
Yeah.
Ricochet Kevin Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'd be the summer to fall feud. I like that.
He's speaking of Ricochet, getting a little off topic. He's defended that title twice now, and idiots online have said, "Well, why is he defending it outside of AEW?" Hello, that's why the title was created.
Entire fucking point.
Yep, Dalton Castle, and then Ace Austin. They ran it back from Ace Austin's first match with the company. I like Ace Austin a lot. But again, he's almost like a speedball to me. Like what does he have character wise? I don't know. So you're just gonna have to throw him into the. We're gonna put on a really good match in this scenario. You're gonna love it, but what do you do?
I like that he's got an association with the Bang Bang Gang. I think that works.
Yeah, you got that feud with FTR right now.
Love it. I think it's a good kind of stepping stone to, we assume the eventual Cope and Christian return.
It's a safe feud for FTR right now. Like it's pretty much bulletproof. I saw somebody last night online say that they didn't really like Roderick Strong too much going in, but they've been super impressed with his C2 work. And I kind of said, well, this is made for him too. He's a fantastic worker, and he'll probably get a win somewhere. I don't know who might even be Dorada.
I would. Yeah, I could see him getting a shock upset over somebody. I honestly thought that could be the Takeshita one because that doesn't hurt him too much either.
Ooh,
just being upset, and Takeshita gets the wins out of all the quote unquote big names in that league. So yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Because the other one would be, how do you like Takeshita Orange Cassidy?
Ooh, yeah. That'll be interesting.
How that's going to get worked.
Orange needs some wins. He's only got 3 points right now, and I still, boy, I don't know who outside of Takeshita who's coming out of this going into World's End. I mean, it's got to be Claudio. Side? Yeah, it's got to be Claudio, Mox, or Orange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they're just going to be playing roulette. Claudio defeated Orange, correct, in that first one.
Correct.
He's defeated Mox. He's the odds-on favor right now to run this down, but Claudio? There's still so much left to. Yeah,
I agree.
Which is interesting.
And then what would we be looking? We could be looking at, Okada, Claudio, and Fletcher Takeshita for the semifinals at World's End.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here's a question I was going to ask you, and I don't know. Actually, I know where I stand on this. They unified that title with the international title between him and Omega at All In, and now they just separated it once again. So suppose Okada loses to Takeshita, now he's just the international champion again. Would you have preferred just the merging of the two titles and kept it? Because that's where I would have gone.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of people, I'm definitely in the category of there's too many titles. But also just like the conversation around, their pay-per-views going long and that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of over debating it or fighting it. I'm just kind of throwing up my arms, and it is what it is. And then honestly, I love the design of the international title, so I'm happy to see that back. I definitely prefer that over the unified, but yeah, I would have preferred it just to stay the unified, but that's never how it was sold. Tony talked about even going into All In that they were still two separate belts, and the champion could decide if he wanted to just carry the unified or both of them, and for a long time, Callis carried the other two. So, yeah, I wish it would have stayed one, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know, especially with the creation of this national title now. I'm like, oh man, another one. Which is how we felt about it going forward. Is there anything else C2 wise? Who beats Kyle Fletcher?
Let me take a look here.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, somebody's going to get a win on him. That could be a good Jack Perry one. Pac. I mean,
Yeah.
Pac. I think it's got to be Pac.
I think just the way that it's running, you don't want to see Okada and Takeshita in the semifinals. You want to see that in the finals.
Mhm.
We think Okada's going to run the table the rest of the way. So that would mean Fletcher would have to lose twice. Or lose once and have a draw.
Yeah,
So-
I think a draw could definitely be maybe that'd be like maybe that's where they go with Speedball or Jack Perry, them taking Fletcher to the limit. But yeah, I think Pac is going to be the one to beat Fletcher. But actually, and that's it. I guess Fletcher has to win this if they want to keep Takeshita and Okada for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Although that is a way to sell the pay-per-view, is if that's your semifinal match being Takeshita Okada. But I just don't think, whatever the final would be there, it doesn't feel as important as that match. So I think you do have to hold off.
Match quality wise, in last year's World's End, you ran into the problem of Fletcher and Ospreay being better than Ospreay Okada, which isn't necessarily a problem because Ospreay and Okada was very good too.
Still awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just Will Ospreay being Will Ospreay. So, I mean, it's going to be the same scenario with those three men, with Okada, Fletcher, Takeshita, and then whoever emerges from the fourth. I guess this will be the last question on the C2. With Jon Moxley, suppose he doesn't advance in the C2. Like how can you make that breakup important? Like where would it fit on that World's End card if he's not in the C2 tournament?
Like I kind of said, I think him losing to Orange, and then you would do some sort of 6-man where Mox still thinks he has, the backing of the Death Riders, and then they would officially turn on him at World's End in a 6-man match.
Yeah. Like the stories that I think I have that meme of that guy with like he's throwing his hands here and all the arrows are going this way all over the board. Almost like a who did it? Yeah. There's not a million, but dozens of stories being told right now in this AEW Continental Classic.
Yeah. It feels too soon to have the turn happen before World's End and do some sort of like a Mox versus Pac match at World's End. I think you hold that off until the beginning of 26.
One of your TV specials, like a Grand Slam, if they move it to, I think there is a Grand Slam in February next year. I just forgot where it is.
I
think so. So we have that. After Wednesday in Atlanta, Georgia, which I'm going to touch on, winter is coming right away here. There's only a couple more items left in the AEW side of things.
They're
heading
to Australia,
overseas,
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
In February.
Yep.
Ooh. They're going over to Cardiff on Saturday for the winter
sir.
is coming. And then I think there's a couple more European shows. I know John Hope's going.
Manchester.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else, if Carl's going or if anybody else from our UK contingency is going to those. But
boy, I would go, just because you don't get it very often. And those cards are looking pretty tasty too, from what they've announced so far.
Oh my gosh, which let's hit it right now. Winter is coming. Last couple of items. Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston, like we mentioned, Kingston getting thrown kind of right away into it. At first being a little bit ice cold, and then all of a sudden, I think just with these last two promos, Eddie Kingston kind of reminded you that he's still as good as ever on the microphone. And he's lost some weight.
I mean,
he looks just trim.
Yeah, now. He's just so believable. Everything he says, you believe, not, as both the character and the human being. I do hope this is the last time. As much as I've enjoyed the promos, I hope this is the last time the story is like, Eddie can't get the big one done, because this is, it's the same thing Mox did with him. It's the same thing Danielson did with him. And now Joe's doing it with him too. And, he has, gotten there. He was Ring of Honor champion. He was the first C2 Continental champion. So that they need to do something new as far as storylines for matches with him.
Yeah, he got rushed into this scenario. So hot-shotting a title to him right now, as much as like I would fanboy over it because I love Eddie Kingston, you can't do it.
Nope. Not the right time.
No. and there won't be a right time. I think just Eddie, his time has
I agree.
passed.
Yep, I
So
agree.
you nailed that. Two more things. Swerve Hangman. That whole scenario right now, Hangman cutting a phenomenal backstage promo after he jumped the ops and using the chains and everything, saying that of all the just the grinding that he did and who he defended the title against and who he beat for it, and he ended up getting cost the title by hook. That might be one of my favorite promos of the year.
Yeah, I mean he's your guy. He's the head of the company for a good reason. Even if you take the title off of him, it doesn't matter. He's still the man. And boy, I can't remember where you mentioned this, but Swerve, he spent that time away from the ring in the weight room, I would say.
He's huge. Last night showed it. Like when he was cutting that promo in the middle of the ring, I think he had a jacket on at first, and then he took it off, and I just went, "What in the hell have you been eating, dude?" Like
Do you have Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Nope.
No, I just lost my train of
Okay.
thought.
Do you have him as your next world champion? I think there's 100% chance of him being champion in 2026, but boy, yeah, I mean, how soon do you pull that trigger?
Well, here's a question I'm going to follow up with right now. Who do they go with to wrestle Samoa Joe at World's End? Because I'll throw this in too. I believe it is not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, the Dynamite Diamond Ring tournament's coming back, which signifies you know who's probably going to win it. You know who's probably going to have a title shot coming again. So that's two that he has in his back pocket, by the way. We're talking about MJF.
And I think, aren't they at 1-1? MJF and Samoa Joe? MJF beat Joe at Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Joe beat MJF for the title at World's End. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense for MJF to get his win back, become world champion, and then you could have Hangman and Swerve chasing him for 2026. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And whether or not Hangman and Swerve can catch him, you've got, Will Ospreay waiting in the wings, hopefully for maybe All In.
As long as he's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the important part. Yeah, I think the story then told is Hangman and Swerve, they finally just start butting heads after a while because they're both chasing the same thing.
Yep.
Very last thing we'll talk about here is AEW Women's Tag Team Championship final, which is going to be coming up. Willow and Harley versus Tony and Mina. I got fooled. I just want to apologize to everybody out there. I got fooled. I thought Megan and Marina were going to win after Tony and Mina won that Stips. I should have just stuck with my original prediction of Tony and Mina. Simple and concrete, but they cut a quick little backstage interview last night with the four of them and toasting and all of that. So anything to say? Correct course here, Tony, Mina?
Boy, I kind of want them to go with Babes of Wrath. I think I'd prefer that over Tony and Mina. It's like I know you want to, if you really want to establish the tag titles, you put it on your biggest star, who's Tony Storm. But I just, Willow to me is kind of overdue for a spotlight with some gold. And I think this would be a pretty awesome scenario to do that.
Yeah, I think.
And Harley's gotten way better too. I mean, her character has been an absolute blast, and that's been locked in for the past year. But I think she's even improved a lot in ring too.
Willow can be the leader of the team, obviously. And I think if you were to go with your scenario there, when they end up losing the tag team titles, that Willow can branch off and move into that singles division and get a huge run.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, do they go with Tony and Mina because maybe Willow will be getting that championship run sooner rather than later, or maybe even just as an opponent for Stat?
They have a history together as partners, and they had an amazing match at All Out in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it looks like Stat Hater is the potential World's End matchup there, face versus face. Hater's got the win over her, so Stat can get it back. Seems to make all the sense in the world there. Justin, we hit an hour.
I think we figured a lot of stuff out. I like it.
I'm telling you, it's nuts how much is going on in AEW, and there's a decent amount going on in WWE right now. New Japan, December, it's just been a crazy month.
Yeah, it's a really fun time to be a professional wrestling fan. And the last thing I want to say, because I know a lot of people think I'm just an AEW mark, which frankly, I am. I really need the AEW table engineers to step up their game, because just touching the announce table and it falling apart during Mox Takeshita is unacceptable. Figure it out, guys. That was bad. Luckily, it stayed up enough that they could still do the spot, but that's embarrassing.
Oh man. I guess my last closing point was John Moxley was on commentary for parts of Ring of Honor Final Battle.
I heard he was good.
He was. I mean, are you surprised? I'll never forget the old light 'em up during the Wheeler Yuta Ricky Starks match at Wrestle Dream in 2023.
I heard we gotta knock his fucking head off that he screamed for Nigel during that match.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's the same reason that Danielson works as a commentator, is because their genuine love of the craft of the sport shines through. You can just tell how much they love this thing, that they would be doing this even if they weren't getting paid.
Oh, they 100% will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome time in December. Ryan Drosty will be back, I'm assuming, next Sunday, when Justin again gets another pass with family stuff. I wish my family would organize more things.
I just want to thank both me and my wife's parents for getting divorced, so that we have to do 4 Christmases in December. So this has worked out brilliantly.
Oh my gosh. Planning a Christmas even early.
Yeah.
That early. And your kids get the reap the benefits of all of this.
Yeah. Yep.
Good grief. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with my son getting 2 Christmases. So I get him on joyous Christmas Day and have him for a full 4 days. So I'll have to watch World's End at like the butt crack of whatever time it is. I'm probably that night going to have an energy drink at 11 in the evening. Just when I come on the air on Sunday morning, which actually might not be able to do that, because actually, no, it would be you and me. Ryan's going.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Ooh, and that might be tough, because again, I've got a Christmas that day. But with AEW, I might try a little bit harder to get it watched.
You would, yes. So that I might be leaning on you to carry the show, because my eyes will be just kind of heavy and raccoony from what happened.
We'll get it figured out
over the Christmas break. So yeah, lots of super fun stuff coming down the road. I think we're going to sign off. You got any last words, Justin?
Come on, you Spurs.
Yes. I'm going to call my shot. Vikings. This is either their last or second to last win of the year. I'm rooting for the Bears today. No, I'm not gonna make a prediction. No. So there's that. All right. Alongside Justin Joint, my name's Jesse Velasquez. That is an episode 403 of Top Rope Nation. We will see you very soon, everybody. Take care.
Peace.